And what I will say is don't be offended. I'm just going to mute you guys because otherwise we get a bit of feedback, a bit of background noise, and it's not that I don't want to hear from you. I do. I really do. And we will have plenty of time for a catch up after our session today. For those of you that want to stick around and have a chat, there's no pressure to. But bear with me. I'm just trying to multitask, and me and multitasking actually generally doesn't go that well. So I think I've let everyone into the room, or they're just joining. There we go. So if you haven't joined us for a Reiki circle before, welcome, huge welcome. For those of you that have joined us for a Reiki circle before, huge welcome. And my membership ladies, I can see lots of you here. Gorgeous to see you all. Oh, Charlotte, gorgeous. Lovely to see you. Hope you're doing well. First time, few first timers. Awesome. And just to say, you need absolutely no experience of Reiki. If you are well versed in Reiki, you are also very welcome. So I like to think of this as, completely inclusive when it comes to our Reiki experience. You have options as we go through. Those of you that are Reiki trained will be able to utilize that energy, utilize that training as we move through our practice tonight. And my real intention for this practice is we're at an interesting part, right? We're shifting in terms of, where the sun is. We're shifting from that very grounded Capricorn energy that might be feeling, it's really useful, right? Capricorn energy, beginning of the year, quite useful, helps us to get some clarity or at least some kind of groundedness in what we might want for this year. Start to think about those intentions, those seeds that we're setting. But it's like we're shifting into that Aquarian energy, which is, elementally speaking, very different. And it can lead us feeling, that shift in energy can lead us feeling a little bit like, someone's just pulled the rug out from underneath me. And so what I hope to give you this evening is a moment to pause amongst all of that. From the new moon energy we had oh my gosh, I've lost track of the days, last week. And some of you may have set intentions under that new moon. And this is a great opportunity to really settle into those energetically. Allow yourself to release anything that might be standing in the way. And I'll be guiding you on a little journey today so that you can have a moment to feel held, a container to release what needs to be released, and to refill with what needs to come in to allow you to see your intentions through, should they still feel aligned. And I will catch up with all you lovely ladies at the end of this. I'm seeing all your comments coming through. Oh, Leanne, lovely, don't worry. Yeah, I saw you tried to join twice, and I did think there's something going on. No worries. Fingers crossed, I don't have any tech issues tonight. In fact, I will share something with you. So last week, I did have a Zoom issue, but that all got resolved. But I had an issue with my headphones, and people kept saying, I can't hear you. And I had to go through the computer. So this is the extent of my technical ability. I realized today it still wasn't picking up my headphones, and it was because I had them switched off. So I might need to release a few of my tech frustrations and frustrations with self here this evening. But I invite you to get comfy. I invite you to get cozy, get a little nest ready, do whatever you need to do to sink into this. And if you feel more comfortable, cameras off, that is welcome. If you like to have your camera on, that is also welcome. Okay, so I'm leaving that completely up to you. My intention here is for you to receive what you need from this. So do not worry about me. Okay, lovely. So let's just take a moment to close our eyes. Maybe take in a nice deep breath. And maybe just notice if there's anything you need in this moment to really sink in. Maybe it's shutting a door. Maybe it's putting your phone on silent. Maybe you just realize that you need a good stretch. I often get to the end of the day and find my shoulders have been creeping up closer towards my ears. And a couple of shoulder rolls just feels really good. And maybe taking in a nice deep breath. And on the exhale, sighing out anything you just want to let go of for the moment. Letting go of any worries or concerns. And doing that again, nice deep breath in. And this time, releasing any stress, any tension held in the body. And one final nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, releasing anything that doesn't feel good to hold inside anymore. And allowing that breath to return to normal. And just giving yourself a moment to truly arrive here in the present moment by just watching that gentle rise and fall. Not trying to control it. Not judging it for whatever it is today. That breath is allowed to be shaky, shallow. It's allowed to be jittery or erratic. So just allowing yourself to shift into that place of curiosity where you can just observe it without judgment. And if staying focused on the breath feels challenging today, that's also welcome. Just observing that too. And when you notice you've been distracted by the body or the mind or the emotions, just allowing yourself to gently redirect your attention back to the breath. Noticing where each breath begins and where it ends. Noticing the texture of each breath in the body. And expanding that awareness now to the rest of the body, and noticing where you feel the rise and fall of each inhale and exhale. And we're just going to do a gentle scan of the body. As we did with the breath, just becoming curious, not judging, not trying to fix or change. But just observing how the body feels in this moment. Allowing that awareness to move to the crown of the head. Coming down the front of the head. Across the brow, being aware of the sensations that are present in this area of the body before shifting into the muscles around the eyes. The nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, down through the neck, and into the shoulders. And allowing that awareness to drift down the left arm, through the muscles and the bones, all the way down into the wrist, the left hand and fingers, and thumb. And allowing that awareness to float over to the right arm now, traveling down through the muscles, through the bones, all the way down into the wrist, the hand, the fingers, and the thumb. And allowing that awareness to move through the middle of the body, the torso, through the chest, all the way down into the belly, checking in with the back, and the lower back, and noticing the hips, the pelvis, and allowing that awareness to float down the left leg, all the way down into the ankle, the foot, the sole, and the toes. And then floating across to the right leg now. Flowing all the way down into the ankle, the foot, the sole, and the toes. And I invite you now to rub your palms together as if you're creating a little bit of friction, allowing them to warm up on this cool January evening. And take a moment to consider an intention for yourself this session. What do you hope to leave behind here? And what do you hope to invoke? setting that little intention inside your heart, like a little seed being planted. And if you work with any guides, angels, deities, you can invite them to join you for this session. Alternatively, you might feel called to invite in your higher self, your soul, the part of you that is beyond the humanness. And ask them to help you with your intention here this evening. And I invite you now to notice where you feel called to place your hands on your body. Perhaps it's a part that's been causing you discomfort. Perhaps it's a place that just feels comforting. Perhaps you don't know why, but intuitively you feel called to place your hands in a certain area. But I invite you to trust yourself and do that now. And I invite you to imagine that coming down through the crown of your head is the most beautiful iridescent healing light that you have ever seen. And that light is traveling down into the heart space, where it branches off and flows down your arms into your palms, being directed by your hands. And maybe you see this light in your mind's eye. Maybe you feel it as an energy, a tingling, a sensation. Maybe you just know it's happening. Whatever your experience, I invite you to know that it is absolutely perfect. The way you are receiving this healing light right now. You don't need to try harder, do anything differently. But as before, just becoming curious of the sensations that you feel as this light enters your body and is directed by your palms. Now, those of you that are Reiki trained, obviously you are very welcome to bring in any symbols that feel right for you in this moment. Maybe you feel drawn to use choku rei or seiheki or something else entirely. And as this healing light does the work that you invited it here to do this evening, I invite you to notice anything that happens behind your third eye. So with your eyes closed, maybe you see colors. Maybe you see images. Maybe a word or phrase comes to you. The trick is not to try, but to allow space for whatever needs to be seen. Sometimes we experience lots, sometimes very little. Both are equally powerful. And I invite you now to imagine you are somewhere in nature, a place that feels safe, a place known to you, whether you know it in the real world, the physical realm, or through your imagination. Allow your senses to be there now. Laying on the earth or the ground. Maybe feeling the breeze on your face, the warmth of sunshine. The sounds of nature all around you. Maybe you can smell the moss or the salty sea. Maybe you can hear the birds in the trees or the waves lapping on a beach. Wherever you are, I invite you to allow yourself to be held. Allow the earth to take the weight of your body, the weight of your problems, the weight of your worries. the weight of the emotions that perhaps you've been carrying inside. Knowing that you can pick any of these back up at the end. But for now, we're just going to rest our shoulders, put down the baggage, and just be here in this healing nature. And not only does this beautiful earth take the weight for you, it also gives you something back. That which you've been craving. With each in-breath, you feel it moving into your body. Maybe it's a little bit more vitality. A little bit more energy. A little bit more confidence. A little bit more self-acceptance. A little bit more self-compassion. Whatever the medicine is you need. Allow this to move into you now. From the nourishing Mother Earth below. Allowing that medicine to feel stronger with each breath you take in. And as this medicine flows into you, you can feel your heart expand in the knowledge that you're always supported. You can always come back here and lay on the earth and be taken care of. You have that sense of how lucky am I? How lucky am I? And I'm going to give you a moment or two to just enjoy this receiving from Mother Earth. And you now have a choice to make on what things you wish to pick back up. And in all honesty, you are very welcome to leave all of the weight here. But deciding what you're leaving behind before you leave your own little nature sanctuary. And when you've decided, you can come back to the sensation of your hands on the body. Noticing that while you've been away, that beautiful healing light has been carrying on in the background. Now, if you feel called to, you may shift your hands, or you may keep them where they are. But take a moment to notice, does anything feel different? Noticing the physical body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Observing the emotional body. Has that changed? And how about the breath? What's the rhythm like now? And I invite you now to place your hands in a position that signifies gratefulness, gratitude for you. Maybe that's on your heart space with one hand on top of the other. Maybe it's in prayer pose. Maybe it's something else entirely. But let's just take a moment to thank your guides or angels or deities or higher self, soul that joined you and supported you with your intention this evening. And maybe you feel called to say an audible thank you. And really feel that. And take a moment to consider the beautiful ladies that have joined you in creating this safe space, this sacred space. And again, feeling into that gratitude that they were here and created this energetic healing container with you. Sending them love and a little thank you. And last but by no means least, take a moment to feel grateful for yourself, for showing up, for making the time when there's so many other things, right, that can distract us away from us. Really feeling that inside. Our final thank you. And I invite you to see if you can allow that feeling of gratitude to expand from the heart space a little bit bigger, making it a little bit bigger still, and continuing to make it bigger until you feel like you're floating in a big bubble of love. A big bubble of how lucky am I. Allowing it to infuse with every cell of your being. Before ever so slowly opening up your eyes and giving yourself a moment to arrive back into your room by just gently allowing your gaze to wander around your space. Allowing yourself to land properly in your environment. Maybe allowing your gaze to rest on something that you find pleasing to look at. And you don't need to know why, right? It doesn't have to be overtly beautiful. It might just be the way the light catches an object, the shape a shadow forms, and taking in a nice deep breath. And coming back into the here and now. Okay, lovelies. So for those of you that are watching on replay, this is where we're going to love and leave you and open up our circle for sharing. So if you don't have a circle to share with, I would certainly advise taking some time with your journal, allowing yourself to make sense of your experience and record what you noticed. I would love to hear from you if you feel like sharing any of that. Otherwise, we will see you at an event soon. Take care.